All right, welcome back. I have here with me a superstar, a legend in every right. Someone who actually needs no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce him. You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, because it's been a while.
The legendary Ramsey Nouah.
Thank you, sir.
Ramsey Tokumbo Nouah.
Nouah.
Yes. Why did you introduce the middle name at some point?
I was having difficulty getting my passport and being an origin of Nigerian. Like, okay, those names of yours are not like Nigerian.
Are you sure you're one of us?
I know, right? And I get that pretty often, because growing up, most times we always run away from our native names.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of native names I never got to use. I was thinking like, okay, you know, we're always looking at that foreign names, you know, that Jack or something, you know, always running away. And somewhere along the line, I'm glad I got the middle name. It was a long time ago anyway. And I'm glad I got the middle name and into my names. Originally, my first name is Ramsey anyways, because it's my father's name. That's why I'm Ramsey Jr. and he's senior. But then now came the Tokumbo thing that has to do with importation of fairly used.
Like, are you sure you're really?
I say, not true, you know, you're not the original. Fairly used.
How are you doing though? How's Nollywood treating you these days? I mean, Nollywood is a completely different place from when you were young in the industry. There's a lot of, you know, things happening these days. The cinema culture is growing.
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
There's a whole lot of dynamics going on in the industry right now, and it's tending towards, you know, not even finding the bearing, as a matter of fact, lack of structure and all of that. So we have this new emerging markets away from the typical DVDs that we started off with, VHS, that now grew to DVD and all of that. Back in the days, a whole lot of filmmakers, practitioners like our kinds, were like very passionate about what we did. We gave it our all and all. Today is more like on the surface. It's almost like a red carpet, like, you know, people just walking on the red carpet, like always very conscious about their looks rather than the art. So it's more given out to outlook than the depth of filmmaking.
So you don't think there's a lot more, you think there was more depth in the past than there is now in the industry?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it with the quality of actors or what?
I think everyone is just thinking about outlook, you know, just that eye candy thing that they see. So it's now all about the eye candy rather than, you know, the performance, the depth of performance, and, you know, the outlook of it all. So basically, I see more of
good-looking people.
Exactly. No, good-looking pictures too. You know, like it's all about wanting to shoot about posh things or posh areas and posh cars and posh all of that. And we're not talking about the real situation in the country. For instance, now, why we're not even filming political issues about the herdsmen, you know, and political issues or even the village people and what they're suffering and what they're going through. Why is it just typical Bentley cars?
Do you have this sort of conversations with these younger Nollywood practitioners? Do you have?
It's not their fault. It's the determining factor is the market. Actually, it's what the people are looking for and what they hunger for. You know, they're just looking for, and everyone is thinking about, okay, you know, the quick way to, you know, wealth is just start jump it. You know, nobody wants to go through the, you know, every step.
And social media has also sort of made that feel a little
exactly
more. Yeah. How has social media changed you though? Because I mean, when most of you started, it was more the tabloids at the time, you know, that you had to deal with.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't in your face as much as social media is now. Has that sort of changed your approach to? Because you seem quieter these days with especially your public life. Not that you ever public with your public life per se, but or your private life. But you seem a lot more. You know, we don't hear so much about it. Ramsey Nouah is here, there. Is social media a reason why?
Yes, very strongly. The social media is like almost like saying it's like another TV right in front of you. It's like TV camera, candid camera right in front of you. You can see every detail, every single detail. When you dig your nose, you can see it and all of that stuff.
But it could be a good thing if you push up the right things.
Well, if you do put up the right things, of course. I mean, it's got its, you know, its good side and its bad sides, you know. But however, I think, you know, when you give out too much, too many, you understand, you don't have any reservation. That means you don't have a life. You don't have you're not you. You're not who you are. You're not more who you're everybody's material. You get what I'm saying? So with that said, it tends to, also because of my family, I tend to want to keep my family, because I think it was more, it brings in a bit more sanity amongst us, you know, myself, my wife, and my kids, you know. You know, my kids even being like a public, you know, from their father is a public figure. It rubs off on them.
Yeah.
So you have
certain,
you have certain kids amongst their age bracket who are bullies, and at the same time who are good. They'll say, "Oh, nice, your father is it." But you have this one like your dad. It's always kissing women. In there.
Let's take a quick break. Sorry,
All right,
we'll come back and continue this conversation. Please don't go away. There's a lot more, of course, to unravel. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I have with me superstar actor, Nollywood legend, Ramsey Nouah. And I have a personal question I want to ask you because it's been bugging me since I saw the headline, you know, that you were going to do is it a remake or a sequel or a prequel? So you can explain it to us and why. Because Living in Bondage, most people know, is sort of an iconic movie. It wasn't probably the best done movie, but because of the sort of story it holds in our history, and the history of Nollywood and how pivotal it was, you know, to kicking off the industry and all of that. You know, you're redoing or remaking the movie.
Yeah,
why?
It's a sequel.
Oh, it's a sequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason being that we went back to history and we're thinking about, okay, I think it's gotten to that point in time when it seems like we've saturated most of our storylines. So we're thinking about, okay, how do we revamp some of the old stories? And we thought about Living in Bondage, which was one of the first crossovers, you know, for Nollywood. And we weighed all the options, the followers, you know, the people who loved it, and how it was quite big all around Nigeria. And we thought, why don't we do that, you know? And we sat down. Myself and my partner, Charles Okpeleke, who owns Play Network, likewise, Steve Gukas, who's one of the big directors in Nigeria and everything, we all came together and decided that, okay, let's make a sequel. And then we worked towards it. We've been working on the story because it's kind of like very tricky. You're trying to like bridge the gap of the original
like 2 or 3 generations.
I know, exactly. 2 generations. Like, okay, so how do we bring in this new generation to understand what this movie was about?
Is it going to be the same actors, or how does that work?
We're still going to, of course, we're keeping most of the top actors there. You know,
Are you going to be in it?
Yes, I am.
Interesting.
It's a new...
I'm actually a little nervous for you because I mean stories like that, when you want to touch it again, it has to be done properly.
Exactly,
so.
It has to be done. We've been on it for almost 2 years.
When are you looking at it coming out?
We're hoping to do principal photography sometime in September, thereabouts. Yeah, we're meant to do it earlier, but because of certain things, we have 3 different locations. We have Owerri, Lagos, Abuja, and then South Africa. So certain things were not in place, and we had to take our time to put those things in place before we start. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I want to something you mentioned earlier now, and I just wanted to you know, expand on that and maybe sort of give you an opportunity to offer advice, because I don't know, you were talking about the fact that you see there's a lot of gloss now in the newer sort of generation of Nollywood, where there's a lot more emphasis on how you look as against the art of acting.
Yes.
How do you start changing that? You know, if you say the market is probably the reason why that's happening, how do you start changing that or getting your colleagues to change that narrative?
I think there's need for more infusion of the art itself, like the performance of the art now. We've been wanting to have that glossy outlook technically. Yeah. We're gradually getting there. We're almost there.
Just in the story.
But then, but there's the disconnect between, you know, the picture and the performance. There's a disconnect, and there's need to find that connect, you know, and that's the work of a director. Major load of that falls on a director to know that, okay, because I have all the equipments to shoot cranes, dollies, tracks, and drones, does not mean I can put them to use when there's no need for it and all of that. You know, there has to be need for, you know, the camera talks. The camera
better direction.
Yeah, better direction, exactly.
What else are you working on quickly before we go?
I'm working on like, Living in Bondage. I'm directing that. I'm also acting in it. I'm also working on this TV series that'll be coming up pretty soon, and that's where I am at the moment with all of that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ramsey. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time.
I know.
Looking forward to the Living in Bondage.
Looking forward to seeing you Living in Bondage too. Yeah, we're talking about you too. Yeah,
that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be very interesting.
We're gonna have evil kind of bondage.
I didn't say that. He said that.
He's gonna be one of those evil guys with a hood.
Thanks for joining us, Ramsey. Like I always say, you can follow the conversation on Twitter. WhyNigerTV is the handle. The hashtag to follow is Rubbin. You can also visit the website WhyNiger.tv. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next Sunday.
Just let's go out. So let's dance now. It is my turn. Just want